What's going on? It's Fist, bringing another great edition of Call of Duty World War II from me to you, because that's what I do. And this is going to be an important video. And the reason being is because I think that this is why I'm here. This is why I've always been here. I am the voice of reasoning in this game. I know that this beta was just this weekend. This was last weekend, and it's coming up for Labor Day weekend. And it's crazy to me because I went on Reddit, I'm watching like T Martin videos and other people's videos, and people want to nerf and change the game after one weekend. And I'm saying to myself, do these people not have the foresight to understand, I mean, Call of Duties of the past and games, Call of Duty today? I hope Sledgehammer, you guys tweet this to Sledgehammer, tweet this to Michael Condrey. This is a very, very important video. So, let me explain it to you, because maybe they figured it out after they posted the video and realized how, I would say, ignorant the video. I would say it's not the understanding of how things all tie into each other. So if you haven't played past Call of Duties, Call of Duty always had footsteps or no footsteps, or how to decipher footsteps. So I've seen videos online where people are talking about the footsteps are too low. So this is boots on the ground. This isn't jetpacking, flying all over the place, all that stuff. So the jetpacking game is going to move a lot faster than boots on the ground. And another thing is, people are talking about nerfing or buffing the recon plane, and that's 5 kills. So here's what I want to spell out specifically to the developers. Do not, I repeat, do not buff the recon plane, and do not increase footsteps down. Do not do either of those things, because here is the reason why. First, this is boots on the ground. That means this game is a lot slower in as far as movement is concerned, comparative to the last 3 years. And if you want to keep this game in a somewhat decent paced moving game, then the reason you would keep the recon planes the way they are is this. If you have somebody who is a camper, and let's say this game is played by multiple people and they get tired of getting their ass kicked and they are constantly camping, then if you shoot down a recon plane, these little red dots, you are not going to know where they're at unless they shoot their gun. Okay? That is ridiculous to buff the recon plane so they can constantly see somebody coming in on them, and they could just sit there and not move. So this brings us to the next point. They said, oh, and this is going to tie into recon, so you understand this before you stop me right here and put a comment down. Listen to what I got to say. So when you buff the recon plane, so a camper can constantly see people coming at them, and then on top of that, you buff footsteps. Now you force 80-90% of the community to use recon, which is dead silence. That means you can't do anything else. This game is going to come to a crawl, because here's what's going to happen. People or persons who are campers are not going to move. They are going to listen to for footsteps. So if they have a radar that's been buffed, they can just sit there and watch the mini-map. And on top of that, listening for footsteps, and now you're going to be forced into only one class, the recon class, because you don't want to be dead silence or not be seen while you're moving. So now you have to move into that class, and if you have either 1 or 2 people playing that way, that's going to shift the dynamics of this game. And so now it's going to, anytime you can force people into playing a certain way, it changes the dichotomy of the game. It ruins the flow of the game, because now people are forced into playing that way. So if you leave everything the way it is and a person wants to camp, that's on them. They are going to have to figure out, you know, how to set up landmines and all that other stuff. And that's not even including all the stuff that's not been released into the final game, like landmines and bouncing betties and someone's camping in a corner and all that stuff. This game, you're not going to want to play it. And then on top of that, if you throw in skill-based matchmaking and you got somebody camping with buff recon planes and recon setup, you're never going to be able to dislodge people from their spots. And it's going to be terrible. You're going to be sitting in spots and you can't get these people out. I've played so many Call of Duties. This kills the game. So, and then another thing too, the fact that they want to put silencers on assault rifles, forget that. You want to know where people are at. If they want to decide to use recon, that's on them. Then they have silent feet. Good. Then they won't be able to move left and right. They won't be able to sprint. That's on them. But, you know, that's what their choice is. Don't force us to play a game a certain way because a couple people or Reddit or some other people don't have the foresight to understand that that's going to ruin the flow of the game. I mean, let's put it down in a nutshell. If you buff recon planes, that means UAV is going to stay up longer. If you raise the sound of the footsteps, that means a person that's camping can now see the UAV, can now hear footsteps, can set up bouncing betties. That's going to change the game. It's going to slow it down completely, and nobody else is going to use any other class. It's going to suck. So, and then on top of that, you want to throw silencers on assault rifles? It's ridiculous. This game on the beta, the way the only silencers on the SMG with the airborne class is a great idea. You know, that's a great idea. If that's what they want to use, then that's great. You know, you have to... There's a balance there, and people haven't seen the trade-off or figured it out, so they already want to start nerfing and buffing things so they can have the game play the way they want without having the foresight to see how this game's going to play out in the future. So I say no to recon buff and no to foot buff either. Those should not, and no to silencer on assault rifle. This game is perfect in those three aspects. It should not be changed. And if you agree with me, tweet this out to Glenn Schofield, Michael Condrey, and Sledgehammer's Twitter. Until next time, it's your boy Fizz. Peace. I'm out.